In this video, I'm going to share 11 insanely quick tips to close more sales immediately. Number 1, stop trying to be someone you're not. Prospects can see and feel when you're trying to be someone you're not. For instance, a lot of salespeople try to be fake enthusiastic or energetic. Prospects see right through this. The reality is that when we try to come in over the top, we'll end up scared off more prospects than actually closing them. It feels disingenuous. Instead, be confident in your own skin. You'll come off more natural and that'll put them more at ease. And if you're introverted, great. Lean into that and act aligned to who you are. If you're extroverted and have an enthusiastic personality, totally cool. Just be aware of it and know how to adjust it to better fit your prospects. Number 2, focus on the prospect. Most salespeople come onto calls and they can't wait to start talking about how great their company is, how great the solution is, all the features, all the benefits, blah, 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 blah. This is when your prospects get that glassy-eyed look of overwhelm or annoyance. Instead, focus on them. When you get on a call with them, they are subconsciously or consciously asking themselves, what's in it for me? So that's why asking deep and powerful questions as part of your discovery process is so key. And also doing number 3, share insights from the marketplace. Here's the thing, your prospects are very busy and often get stuck running their business and do not always get to see what their peers in the same field or industry are doing. They get stuck in their own bubble or problems or issues. On the flip side, if you are doing your job well, you are dealing with your personas and ideal customer profiles consistently and often, which means you may have a greater insight to what trends are going on, common problems, etc. For instance, let's say you go after CROs in the SaaS space that are doing between 25 and 50 million a year. If you're running 5 to 10 or more discovery calls every single week with 5 to 10 different CROs, after like 6 months, you'll have had over 150 to 300 plus conversations. That's likely 150 to 300 more than most CROs are having with their peers. Add in research you're doing as well, and now you'll be able to provide insight and value potentially. Number 4, uncover their biggest challenges. Not all problems are the same. Most salespeople seem to know how to find the pain, but there are different levels of pain. Imagine pain on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 means there's pain, it's annoying, but tolerable. Level 10 pain is I need to solve this ASAP type of pain. It's also known as a bleeding neck pain. Like for example, if your neck was gushing blood, would you wait to get it solved? So you want to uncover their biggest challenges, but then you want to go deep to truly understand what their issues really are. Let's say for example, you sell for HubSpot and you are selling their marketing automation platform for small businesses. Let's say you uncover with a prospect that not having a solution in place means they can't create landing pages to collect lead information. That's like a level 1 challenge. The reality is that the prospect may not have made the mental connection that is a bigger problem than that. So if you don't ask more questions, you'll get stuck with only level 1 pain and thus most likely will lead to inaction. Instead, let's now go deeper and ask more probing questions. Let's say that you uncover the prospect gets 25,000 plus website visits per month and they aren't collecting any lead information. You also uncover that they want to have at least a minimum 1% conversion to close from the website visit. So for simple math's sake, that's 250 customers they could be acquiring each month. And if the LTV, lifetime value, is $5,000, that's $1.25 million of lost opportunity per month based on the traffic they're already getting. Now, is that a level 10 problem? It's going to be close if it's not already there. A $1.25 million month problem is a far bigger problem than a landing page problem. Number 5, uncover the cost of inaction. I hinted at this in the last section, but we must uncover a clear cost of inaction, meaning what happens if a year goes by and the prospect is still running into the exact same problem a year later. In this case, it's a $1.25 million month problem. If we extrapolate out to 12 months, that's 15 million plus in lost revenue. But think about it. What does that mean in profits? What could the business do with those profits to impact the business more? So for instance, if they net 3 million in profit off that, how could they reinvest that? Hiring more salespeople to grow the business, hiring staff to improve or optimize the marketing funnel, investing in improving the customer success experience. And also, what about all those new customers? $250 a month is $3,000 per year. What if even 5% drop a positive G2 or Trustpilot review? That's like 150 potentially positive reviews that will help grow the business. You get my point. When you go deep and ask these questions, you can cover some powerful depth in the cost of inaction that drives a far higher cost with direct and indirect costs built in. Number 6, identify a ballpark range of investment. One of the worst things you can do is not disqualifying fast enough. Once you uncover all the past things we mentioned, you want to ensure the prospect has access to funds to make it happen. Now, note, I did not say budget, because budgets can be tweaked and adjusted contrary to popular belief. Don't believe me? Why do you think companies have hiring freezes all the time, or suddenly budgets are frozen even though the department may be trained to be right on budget? The reality is things change and priorities change. Thus, don't get mentally stuck on budget. Instead, identify a ballpark range of investment. If you end up being higher, you can see if they have access to more funds as long as they're 100% certain it's worth it. Because if they do not, you may end up spinning your wheels, feeling like you're trying to sell a Lamborghini to a Kia Rio driver. Number 7, be emotionally detached and walk away if it's not a good fit. One of the big mistakes I made early on was getting very emotionally attached to deals closing. When I sensed on the sales call that I was losing them, I'd start getting really desperate. I'd start offering them discounts, trials, or reduced term to try to get them to move forward. But what would end up happening? They would shy away and resist even more. And I did this even though it wasn't a good fit. They could smell my desperation and my commission breath. This would actually repel them as a result. Instead, you want to be crystal clear on who exactly is an ideal customer and only sell to those. And instead of being focused on the outcomes, focus on mastery of the sales process. Focus on serving them and being emotionally detached. When you are truly indifferent to the outcome, you are now positioning yourself as someone of authority and not desperate. This shows confidence in yourself, the solution, and your company, and that ultimately will lead to them trusting you more, which increases your win rate. Number 8, sell the problem first before selling the solution. Most salespeople get very excited to demo or show their solution after discovery, especially if they uncover a few pain points. Before you do so, make sure they are truly sold that they have a level 10 problem. That means going deep on discovery to ensure they've come to their own conclusion on what the true COI is. But before you transition to the demo, simply restate back everything you uncovered and ask them. For instance, so Alice, if I understand you right, because you currently get over 50,000 website visits per month, and because you don't have a lead capture or nurture system at the low end of even a 1% conversion, that means each month you're losing out about 1.25 million in new business sales or over 15 million a year in lost sales. Is that right? Oh, yes. But the worst part is that without all the additional cash flow, that's going to impact hiring and truly growing to the point of being recognized as an Inc. 5,000 fastest growing company in America. Is that right? Yes. Boom. So now you can see they're actually sold, they have a problem, and will now be open to hearing about a potential solution. So now you can easily transition to the next tip. Number 9, show specifically how you can solve their biggest problems. Most salespeople at this point then get excited to show every possible feature method under the sun. This is the wrong way to go about this. Instead, show only what is most relevant to solving their biggest problem. When you do this, this makes the solution feel very customized to them. Show them what's most important for them and not for you. Prospects aren't paying for more features, they're paying to have problems solved. Number 10, close a meeting, book a meeting. As the meeting is wrapping up, it's important to discuss clear next steps if you don't close it, and to get another meeting locked up on the calendar. Do not walk away with the next step being, I'll follow up next week to schedule another meeting, because that's a really fast way to get ghosted. Instead, do what dentists do. After the cleaning, they have you book the next appointment before you leave. It's simple. I call it Kanban. Close a meeting, book a meeting. Make it clear what action items need to be addressed and by which party and by when. Then lock up the meeting before the meeting ends. Number 11, ask the tough questions. The greatest gift you can give yourself is clarity, and clarity comes when you ask the tough questions that are uncomfortable. For instance, let's say you get to the very end and have presented everything including pricing, and they say, great, let me think about this and get back to you. Can you follow up in a few days? Now, most average reps are like, great, when exactly should I follow up? Instead, ask the tough questions like, sounds good. What specifically do you want to think about? Got it. What's on your mind exactly? Sure. What are your thoughts? You get my point. keep calm, cool, calm, and watch the tone. Learning to ask these types of difficult questions helps you understand what the objections are and what you may potentially need to do to progress them forward. So there you have it, 11 insanely quick tips to close more sales. Now, if you want to see more specific examples of asking tough questions in objection handling, I'll see you in the next video right here.